Let's talk Spartans, those legendary warriors who could take on entire armies and leave their enemies humiliated with just their combat skills. A single Spartan was considered as good as several men from any other state, and yes, 300 of them did face off against thousands of Persians, the stuff of legends, right? But sometimes the truth is just as fascinating as the myth. Still, there are some misconceptions about Spartan training that might not be quite what you imagined. So how did they actually train, and what can we learn from them? First, a little honesty. We don't know all the nitty-gritty details about Spartan training. History gets fuzzy over the centuries, but there are some core truths we can cling to. For starters, weak newborns were discarded. Brutal, yes. Effective, also yes. This wasn't just a culture of survival, it was a culture of the fittest survive. Training began at the age of 7 with a little boot camp called the Agoge, a no-frills, zero-mercy institution where boys were thrown into a pit of competition, teasing, and toughness. By age 12, things got real. Shoes? Forget about it. These kids went barefoot to toughen their feet and improve athleticism. Science backs this up. Barefoot training enhances proprioception, agility, and flexibility. And their uniform? A thin little cloak called a chlamys. Whether it was freezing cold or sweltering hot, you wore it, or froze trying. Oh, and they made their own beds by pulling reeds out of rivers with their bare hands. Hello, grip strength. Food? Think small portions and not-so-gourmet black broth made with pig's blood. Appetite not satisfied? Steal some food. But here's the twist. If you got caught, you weren't punished for stealing. Nope, you were punished for being bad at stealing. It wasn't just survival of the fittest, it was survival of the sneakiest. By 20, Spartans became full-time soldiers, and by 30 they could finally marry and be considered proper citizens. Women weren't left out either. They exercised to ensure strong offspring. Spartan society valued strength so much that marrying someone deemed genetically weak could get you fined. That's some next-level selective breeding. Now let's talk training specifics, or the lack thereof. Sources like Plutarch claim Spartans weren't exactly gym rats. Unlike athletes, who focus on building muscle through strict diets and recovery, Spartan warriors trained to endure hardship. They learned survival skills, weapons handling, and gymnastics rather than pumping iron. Running, climbing, and even dance were part of the program, not for fun, but for agility and body control. This wasn't about bulging biceps. It was about building lean, mean, unbreakable machines. Think resilience over raw strength. And let's not forget their innovative military strategies. Marching in sync, platoon-sized units, and matching uniforms that made them look like a single, terrifying organism. So, what can we take from Spartan training? Train outdoors, get uncomfortable, and maybe ditch your shoes once in a while. But don't romanticize them too much. They had flaws too. Gymnasiums and wrestling gave their enemies like the Thebans the edge later in history. The Spartans weren't perfect, but their grit and toughness were second to none. Got a favorite historical warrior you want me to tackle next? Drop it in the comments. And hey, if you like this little History Meets Fitness breakdown, hit that like button.